Hello everybody, welcome to Red Bull Esports Champion League 2013, and the next BO3 coming up is Vici Gaming versus DK. And you want to take a look at the brackets?
Sure thing, Ben.
Sure, LD.
I might be separated from you physically, but I'm here with you mentally.
So we've had quite a few matches thus far. Rising Stars upsetting IG earlier today. We had Orange take out Rattlesnake, and all these teams that have lost today are already eliminated. So one of these two teams, VG Gaming and DK, will go home and will not have a shot at... Wait.
Yeah, so with that being said, we'll actually hop into the game here. It's going to be a best of three between DK versus Vici Gaming. Winner of that will be your fourth and final team into the semifinals. Earlier today, Tong Fu, Rattlesnake, and IG all got eliminated. I think IG and Tong Fu, the two big surprises there. But it's going to be Vici Gaming versus DK, guys. It is a best of three. Loser will be going home. And on that note, I will work my way into the game. Oh, yeah.
So
that production value. There we go.
So taking a look at the draft thus far, we actually see OD rise from obscurity to being first banned in almost every one of these series. And Wisp has actually been like a top ban in most of the Eastern games too. We saw Rattlesnake use it, we saw Rising Star use it, and it looks like they're becoming almost as comfortable and familiar with Wisp as Western scene. So we'll see DK first pick Alchemist. No surprise there. One of the strongest hero in the Eastern scenes can pretty much farm uncontested in the safe lane for the most part. Synergizes well with 3 stun or any triple lane actually, and one of the best carries in today's competitive game. Hello, LD.
Hello, Ben. Absolutely. So it's the Wisp has also been something that's been DK's been using a lot. I know you and I have both seen DK. They love to farm burning. They love their 4 protect 1, but there was actually a recent interview with ROTK in which he said that they've realized they have to change. That style doesn't work anymore. They need to be more versatile. They need to be able to get burning involved early. When you play passively like that, it's just too easy for your opponents to control the tempo. Once they start finding pickoffs, they come a lot easier. So we've seen burning on I think it was a safe lane bounty hunter, and they were running a Wisp with it. Much more aggressive drafts have been the name of the game for DK. That being said, they will go for Alkweaver, which looks more like your kind of typical Team DK draft.
Yeah, their 4-man core besides Burning is pretty decent, but it just doesn't stand up to the likes of LGD China or one of the other top tier teams that does run this 4 protect 1. They did not have that much success with it, at least from what I've seen in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, so where do you think Vici Gaming goes from here? They also, I think it's worth mentioning, for those who don't know, Vici Gaming did recently make a roster change. Tutu joined the team, former 3-position player, or rather carry player for 4Love. I believe he's playing the 3 position for this team. So they did remove, who was it? YXY? No, I think it was someone else. I can't remember offhand. But they made a roster change recently. I haven't seen them play since then. Vici Gaming, they kind of exploded onto the scene, had some really impressive performances from CTY, and since then they've struggled to really compete with the top teams.
Yeah, Vici is going for a very, very greedy lineup here. Rubik and Visage, not the strongest 2 supports in triple lane, but still decent nonetheless. Rather passive, I'd say. And Nature's Prophet, 3rd pick against an Alchemist and a Weaver. He's just most likely just going to lose his lane. And I would have liked to see perhaps a Puck pick. Puck is pretty good for his Alchemist, can phase most of the stuns, can control him for the most part, put a lot of pressure, right-clicking him early, and the silence works wonders against Weaver. But
yeah, like and Enchantress, actually. You can just, if you blink silence her and she can't get her heal off, she's normally pretty tanky, but without the heal, very easy to kill.
Yep, Darkseer surprisingly making it to the next phase. We see TA banned out, Tree banned out, and a couple of other rather normal bans, I'd say.
Yeah, Dragon Knight banned from DK. Pretty standard stuff, really. Vici Gaming I guess my one concern for them is I feel their lineup doesn't scale particularly well, and they're lacking well, I guess they have some lockdown for Weaver. They have the lift, they have the shackle shot, but I'm not sure if the damage is really there. There's Power Shot, there's Soul Assumption, there's Prophet Ult. In theory, it can be good, but I mean, it's not easy to execute damage. Right?
Yeah, on DK, they have like much easier sources of damage. They have Acid Spray, like screen wide. They have the Swarm, really easy to get off. So they have all this minus armor. They have AoE with a Vacuum, Ion Shell, and Wall from the Darkseer. Follow that up with a Alchemist Stun, and they have like a good mix of early game and late game potential. Enchanter is able to put out a lot of pressure early and support some of these rather weak laners, most notably Alchemist.
So Vici Gaming, looking at their last pick here, they don't really have that ZSMJ hero. Of course, known for his legendary, lost the relic, then farmed it in just a few minutes after the game where the Beastmaster actually roared the enemy flying courier and killed it. So we'll see as ZSMJ gets that hardcore farmer. His anti-mage, his life stealer, all banned out here. A lot of hard carries. There is a Deuce in the pool, but no. They'll go Queen of Pain instead. The quick response will be a Nyx Assassin from Team DK. And, well, what do you think of the draft so far?
I think the Nyx Assassin pick is really good from DK. It synergizes well with the rest of their lineup. It provides some nice follow-up or setup, and it's also very, very good versus Queen of Pain and a lot of these weak intelligence heroes. They have a 5 intelligence lineup, and Nyx Assassin Mana Burn is going to be a problem for them all game. And they need a more early game. Weaver and Alchemist already serving as like sufficient mid to late game in case it does get that far, and some early game pressure with this Nyx was pretty good choice. I like DK's a lot more than Vici's.
Yeah, a lot of bursts. I feel like they're just the more versatile draft. They scale really well late game. They've got a nice mix of physical and magical damage. They're good at chasing. They're good at ganking. Their team fight is great with Darkseer. They do everything well. Whereas I feel Vici Gaming, they can burst heroes when Queen of Pain has their ult, if she has a good start. They don't have that many snowball heroes. They're all a bit squishy.
They're really item dependent too.
Yeah, heroes like Prophet, Queen of Pain can carry, but they need way more items than an Alchemist or a Weaver to do it.
And a Windrunner too.
So on that note, we'll have a quick pause, and unfortunately, the Vici Gaming players are going to make my life difficult. I believe this is CTY. Let's double check that. Okay. So that's CTY, and then the Prophet is ZSMJ. All right, so we can introduce Vici Gaming now. Hopefully, we'll be able to keep them straight. It's going to be CTY, Solo Mid Extraordinaire. He has recently played RTZ, by the way. They played a 1v1. There was a big post in the NA Dota forums about it. One of the best solos in the world. Fantastically talented, but very young player. On the Queen of Pain, he'll be heading mid, we imagine. FY going to be handling your support Rubik. One of the more underrated and kind of quiet players on this team, but sometimes steps up to make big plays. Fenrir will be handling your Visage. ZSMJ will be in the farming Prophet role, the carry Prophet role. Well, I know a lot of players do not like Zhou's carry Prophet, as great of a solo as he is. We'll see if ZSMJ can kind of break the mold there. 2-2, your new addition to the team, formerly of 4Love, the carry player for that squad, handling the Windrunner. And then for Team DK, you've got the big boys. Super on the Alchemist, so it'll be a solo mid-alch, a utility/support alch, sporting some pretty badass swords on his back, I must say. QQQ or Die on the Enchantress. MMY, the Nyx Assassin. ROTK, the R-God, the Screamer, the Yeller. This guy knows how to make some noise and intimidate his opponents. He'll be on your Darkseer. And last but not least, it'll be Burning Your Soul, a.k.a. Burning, handling the carry Weaver.
And is Burning a pretty good Weaver? I've seen him play a decent amount of times, but it doesn't stand out to me as like one of the exceptional Weavers, like his anti-mage, let's say.
He's had some good games on the Weaver. We'll have to see if he plays differently, because, I mean, that was the one thing, is they were drafting differently. They were also playing differently. When they're picking Bounty Hunter, they're picking Wisp. DK was actually forcing fights. They were being aggressive. They didn't just pick an aggressive lineup and farm off of it. They picked an aggressive lineup and played aggressively off of it. So I am curious to see what they do.
It looks like a mix of both. They have like the late game potential if Alchemist and Weaver transition well, and they have the ability to play very aggressively early. So let's see if they play to the strengths of their lineup.
And we'll have a quick pause here again. So I guess the players actually took a while to get set up, longer than some of the other series today, and maybe a bathroom break. there must have been some bad food or something. Maybe the water wasn't very good. There's been a lot of bathroom breaks for the players today. What did that one game have? Like 4 pauses?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
You were in a haze.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Merlini's been a trooper, but he was definitely struggling to stay awake. There were a few times I looked over at the camera shot, And he had his eyes like 2/3 closed.
That last game was a snooze fest, though.
Yeah. Lumi was not helping matters.
Well, VG, I'm actually surprised they didn't pick the puck instead of the Queen of Pain. I think the silence is very key in killing a lot of these heroes. Weaver gets decimated by silence. Enchantress, she can get bursted down very easily. She can't pop off Nature's Heal or Nature's Attendance. And Nyx Assassin, if you can't pop that Carapace too. Darkseer also very spell dependent. So I'm very surprised they picked Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain, she has more burst damage. She has like more AoE damage, but I feel like they're lacking in control in the fight. They have a decent amount of damage, but like Prophet offers not that much control of the fight. Visage offers like a decent amount of damage, but Rubik Windrunner +1 I think will lend more to control because they don't really have a hero that can just run in there and be like, hey, what's up guys, focus me, like the Alchemist, and they don't really have a really great initiator. Maybe Shackle Shot with the Windrunner, but that's not as reliable as, let's say, Vendetta, Nyx Assassin running in with that Impale and Mana Burn, or an Alchemist, Big Bat Alchemist with Chemical Ray just running in, shaking the stun up, trying to throw it out at people.
Shake and bake. So the likely lanes here: DK, RTK, and the Darkseer probably headed to the off lane. So that'll be a 1v1 Darkseer potentially versus a Prophet. Generally, if you see that Visage pick and you don't have a carry, you're going aggressive tri-lane. They don't have a hard carry who would really benefit from safe lane farm. So it doesn't look to me like they're protecting their tri-lane. It looks to me like they're taking the fight to DK. So then that sets up a Prophet 1v1 against Darkseer, RTK on the Darkseer, ZSMJ on the Prophet. Generally, advantage goes to Darkseer there, albeit a slight advantage. Mid lane would be a Queen of Pain mid for CTY versus Super's Alchemist. And then your tri-lane. So looking at the mid matchup, I think that's the lane that has to go well for Vici Gaming. Like, this Queen of Pain will be in the best position out of any of their 3 lanes to crush, and CTY has to crush. If he doesn't, they're in trouble.
Yeah, it's just so problematic playing Queen of Pain versus Nyx Assassin. The Mana Burn is just way too devastating versus a mana-intensive hero like Queen of Pain. If you can't blink, if you can't just unload most of your spells and go to other lanes, we see that Nyx Assassin doesn't actually kill Queen of Pain in the one-on-one matchup. I'm pretty sure that Super is going to go mid, but if they did want to swap to the Nyx Assassin, he can just keep him in lane, and that is one of the biggest threats about having Queen of Pain. The constant threat of a rotation, of being able to just blink, scream, ultimate, and that is like 600 damage from a level 7 Queen of Pain, and that just almost will always kill all your supports. So she wreaks havoc on the supports. I hope that DK will try and shut her down early game, whether that means constant Mana Burn rotations from the Nyx Assassin or just whatever it may be. Try and thwart the aggression from the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what we've seen for most teams, right? When Puppy's playing the Nyx Assassin and he goes mid, or when he's playing a support Nyx, he'll come mid, he'll just Mana Burn you 4 or 5 times. He'll just sit mid until Dendy has the start he needs. Even if Dendy's, say, a Dragon Knight, a Mag, the Nyx can really provide a lot of support in the early laning stages, even to a disadvantaged matchup, and turn the tide of it. So whether they kill him early or just slow him down, I think that's the key thing here. Of course, if the Nyx rotates there, they're running an Enchantress in the jungle. That would put Burning as the Weaver by himself. But he's a Weaver by himself against Rubik, Visage, Windrunner. A lot of harassment power, not the best killing tri-lane. So I think they can actually send the Nyx mid, sack Burning's farm a bit, and then you're going to do well in that offlane. Darkseer 1v1 against Prophet. Your Alk will at least get some farm mid, will be supported by the Nyx. If DK do all that, I'm not sure what Vici Gaming actually can do to respond, because they don't have good roaming supports. Visage can't really roam. Neither can the Rubik can roam, but he won't have anyone to roam with.
DK just needs levels in the early game. If they give up a few kills here and there, it's not that big of a deal, just because they have the better team fight and they have the better late game. So if a Weaver is versus triple lane like you suspect and doesn't get that much farm, not a big deal as long as he hits level 7 relatively quickly. Darkseer just needs levels.
Yeah. They have this nice minus armor combo too, the Swarm as well as Acid Spray.
And yeah, Nyx Assassin I think really needs to get level 6 so he can put out the pressure. And VG, they just need a really good early game. They need to get kills. They need to not die. They need to get a lot of farm and experience on most of their important heroes. Queen of Pain, Windrunner, and the Nature's Prophet being the most important 3.
Any predictions based on the draft? Seems like you favor DK in this game.
Yeah, I think that VG's lineup just has too much room to fail For example, Queen of Pain can be shut down by the Nyx Assassin. Weaver or Alchemist can get out of control too early without a proper hero hard counter solution, and their late game is just a little bit lacking from DK, and they have more roam potential with the Nyx Assassin running around as well as the Enchantress.
So you favor them in this game. I don't think you've seen Vici Gaming before.
I have not.
Yeah.
Not since TI3 Eastern qualifiers.
Yeah, which was quite a while ago, and they did all right there. They didn't. They kind of disappointed in the end, though. Didn't end up qualifying for the big dance, but obviously I think DK will be the favorites for the series as well as this game. And on that note, guys, it seems like it may be a bit of a prolonged pause. We're going to cut to a break. We'll show you some shots of the venue if there's anything going on there. Otherwise, we'll be right back into it as soon as the game is back underway. So with that being said, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So it looks like the game is back underway. It looks like Vici is going to do an aggressive triple lane like LD predicted, and Super going the solo mid build. It looks like Enchantress will start off in the bottom. ROTK, I'm not exactly sure if he's starting off in the jungle for Team DK or starting off in the option. Looks like he's headed up there already, and no wards out yet for other team, save this one lone ward on the far right-hand side of the map. And just trying to scout out. They predicted early aggressive triple lane from Vici Gaming, and what is Nature's Prophet doing? Yep.
All right, guys, let's introduce the match properly for those just tuning in, anyone who's confused. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Merlini. We're casting our final best of 3 of the day for the Redbull ECL Season 2 LAN Finals. It's the quarterfinals, our final quarterfinal. Man, that's a mouthful. Vici Gaming versus DK. Game 1 of a best of 3. Winner will move on to the semifinals. Loser will go home. We'll have Fenrir on the support Visage. Trian scouting out of Hastern. Very fortunate for them. Vici Gaming running aggressive tri-lane. Also featuring FY on the Rubik. And Tutu, the new addition, the former carry player from 4Love, handling the Windrunner. CTY will be your solo mid. That Snowball Queen of Pain. Heavily decked out. Pooled as well. They really want him to crush. On the top lane, it'll be ZSMJ, a carry prophet, starting with the TP scroll, as well as Trience at level 1. Maybe worried about a first blood attempt. And then on the Radiant side, it'll be Team DK, ROTK. And yes, he is the R-God, the god of yelling, the god of war in Dota. He likes to scream. He'll be playing the Darkseer. Super, your solo mid, Alchemist. In the jungle, QQQ, Hakuna Matata handling that Enchantress. Burning on the Weaver. Die playing that support Nyx Assassin. And Merlini, I think the interesting thing for me is they have not opted to send the Nyx mid at the start to harass this Queen of Pain. They're just going to leave Super to his own devices. And when it's Queen of Pain versus Alk and the Queen of Pain got pulled, that's going to mean a tough matchup for Super.
Yeah, I'm surprised that VG didn't actually have sentry wards in lane for DK. I'm not actually sure if it was dewarded or not, but Burning should be able to survive most of this. I don't think the triple lane is actually going as well as expected for them. They actually, I think, blocked a little bit. The first wave suicided a tower, and now VG is in a much more defensive position than DK would desire, and they don't have control of their pool.
Interesting. QQQ also in the offensive jungle position, looking maybe to set up a gank, but good use of the Trian so far from ZSMJ. Scout out the Enchantress. QQQ also has been unable to find a good creep. I didn't actually see, did he block has he been blocking these camps with Trians? Like
I don't think so.
I noticed they sentry warded this big camp. So obviously they blocked one of them, but I'm not sure if he's been using Trians to block this camp. We'll see, I guess. In the meantime, it looks like the Enchantress pulling the creeps away from the tower. And actually, she'll end up blocking the camp herself as QQQ decides to abandon the offensive jungle. Didn't get much done there, to say the least.
Yep, Super will pick up his DD rune, so a little bit going in the way of his favorite in the middle lane. 8-8 on the Queen of Pain, and only 3-3 on the Alchemist, so CTY is expected dominating this middle lane in this Queen of Pain versus Alchemist matchup. Meanwhile, Burning on the bottom lane having a very difficult time farming, 3-0 in last hits.
Yeah, tough matchup for Burning. Obviously, he's not expected to farm here. He's expected to not die. Or at least to minimize the deaths if possible. And so far, he's done a nice job of that. He's still getting some experience. Can they pull is the question. Right now, one sentry ward placed, out of range of the Magic Bush ward, also out of range of the Observer ward. I believe both of these blocking that spawn, so there is just no way DK are going to get any pulls off. I think they got one at level 1, or either that or Die stole some experience, and he can do some stacking now, but you mentioned the importance of Nyx getting level 6. We are not going to see it early. However, what we do see is ZSMJ being sent back to base by ROTK's Darkseer. He's only level 2 to the 4 of ROTK, and this is a big problem. I actually think ROTK could be going for a first blood pretty soon.
Yeah, he was prepared for it with that early TP scroll, but I don't actually know why MNY didn't get mana burn either. He's level 2, he went a 1-0-1 build. The Carapace is okay, but I don't think he's going to be the main target. He should just be standing very far in the back, burning these very mana-dependent heroes. I think Visage is probably the best candidate for that, try and negate the soul assumption that is so dominant in triple lanes.
Here comes the Harpy Stormcrafter. So far we saw a Mana Burn creep head top, a Mana Burn creep head mid, and now one of the most annoying creeps. I wouldn't say the strongest, but definitely one of the most annoying. You could spam this Chain Lightning a good like 7 or 8 times. Last hit with it, harass the enemy trialing back. Vici Gaming slowly being plinked away at, but
well, good scouting by the Nature's Prophet up here, always keeping track of where the Enchantress is.
Yeah, interesting, because QQQ actually, he left this jungle. He went back towards mid, and now he's back at top again. Seems like he really wants to keep the pressure up on the Prophet. The 4-minute rune spawns, and it will be a haste bottom. Picked up for Die. He now deploys an Observer Ward, and actually, is he hunting this Courier? No way he's going to get that. Maybe looking to make a go on our Queen of Pain, but he will end up backing off. So overall, Merlini, we've seen a very passive start. The Windrunner for Vici Gaming, as well as the Queen of Pain, farming well. For DK, it's the Darkseer and the Alk. Do you give any big advantage to
I
either team?
think that DK just kind of threw away their advantage with the Enchantress not playing aggressively at all in the top lane. I think they can just dive the Nature's Prophet, force him either out of the lane or just to give up first blood and then try and take down the tower. He rotated down bottom. He didn't really interfere mid. I think he could use that mana burn creep to burn the Queen of Pain a little bit more and give more of an edge to Super. But when you have a jungle hero and you're not doing much with it, you usually lose at least 2 out of 3 of your lanes. And I would actually say that they're losing bottom lane because the Windrunner is super far ahead on last assist. 31-3. Shackle flies out on burning on bottom.
Uh-oh. If they get a lift off, it could be first blood, but they can't quite nail it. Die with the timely disengage. He'll throw it in Impale. His team will back off. Now there are boots and bottle up on this Queen of Pain, and Super might have to be careful. You'll notice CTY did go for the double Shadow Strike build. Generally the perfect build. Oh, we see a Shackle bottom lane. Hold that thought. Die gets caught out. Lifted back up, thrown in. But he'll simply Impale. Almost caught Tutu. If he catches Tutu there might be our first blood, but narrowly missing him. They're not farming well at all, but they if this Enchantress comes bottom, they could easily get a kill. And surprisingly, QQQ continues to spend his time top. Continues to not get any kills. If he's not going to get any kills on the Prophet, I'd like to see him just push the tower.
Yep, it looks like ROTK is trying to do that right now, trying to tank the creeps behind the tower, but ZSMJ trying to use those Nature's Prophet treants to control the wave, tank up for the tower a little bit. It's still relatively healthy, 1100 out of 1300 HP. QQQ, let's see what kind of creeps he gets. He has the treant. Or not the